It's going to take us just a few minutes to get over to the house, and then once you get there, you'll have a guided tour that'll last about 15 or 20 minutes, and then after that, you're free to walk around and take as many pictures as you like, both inside and out. For those of y'all that are with the birthday party, I'll bring you back here because you're going to have your meal over here at noon. Just a couple rules I have to go over with everybody first. There's no smoking inside any of the buildings. If it's locked, please don't go inside. And the last rule is my favorite one. I always disappoint somebody, but no, you can't ride any of the livestock. I'm sorry. Even if it's your birthday, they still say no. A couple of things to point out here to my left, to your right. First off, these flags are up to represent some of the many countries that the TV show Dallas was shown in. Dallas ran here in the States from 78 to 91. 357 episodes were translated in 55 languages, and they've been shown in 96 countries. So what we do is we swap out the flags every other week to put up a new country. By the time the end of the year comes, we've put up all the flags of all the different countries that's shown the series. And then the lovely thing that's behind us there is an oil derrick. I'm sorry, it's a platform for working on an oil derrick, that blue thing that you see back there in the distance. We've had 3 owners here on the ranch, and our second owner thought he was JR and he was going to drill for oil on the property, but there's no property here in Collin County. The other thing that he was doing, though, is he is a land speculator, and he put the ranch up as collateral on another deal that went belly up. So the bank came in here and foreclosed on it. And when they did that, they sold off 160 acres around the homestead, and they took down that oil derrick because it had some value in it as well. And then our current owner has been the third owner. He bought the property out of foreclosure after it sat empty for almost 2 years in the early 90s. And when he did that, he bought another 300 acres around it because he wanted to keep this wide open ranch look. You know, a lot of the neighborhoods you see as you drove over here probably, you noticed they're kind of creeping in towards the ranch. And he's an interesting guy. His name is Rex Maughan, and he's made us part of what he calls Forever Resorts. He owns properties across the country and around the world, really. But the other thing is, if you've ever used any aloe vera products, you've probably helped line his pocket. He controls 90% of all the aloe vera production in the world. It's one of the single largest landholders in South Texas and in Arizona. He grows it, he does the manufacture and the distribution as well. What that means for us, though, is that our paychecks are always on time and they never bounce. So we're very happy about that. All right, so guys, sit back and relax. I'm going to point out a few scenes along the way that have been filmed here on the ranch, and just enjoy the day. Thank you.
Marsh, what's that say right there? Petrol, fuel only, dude.
We didn't go on this ride.
Which
the last time we were here. Here we go, guys. Here we go. I want to come back on Monday when the cast is really here. Monday on my birthday. When are you going home? Sunday night. What a bummer. I want to catch them.
So as we come around the corner, this open area that's going to be off to our left, that's where they filmed Bobby's funeral. Bobby was played by Patrick Duffy, of course, and at the end of season 7, his contract was up for renewal. At the time, he didn't want to be typecast as Bobby Ewing for the rest of his life. Of course, we know he enjoys that nowadays, but then he was considering taking on some other projects. Also right around that time, both of his parents were tragically shot and killed in a home invasion up in Montana. So with those two things going on in his life, he decided not to come back for season 8. The ratings went down quite a bit that year, so Larry Hagman made a personal phone call to Patrick Duffy asking him to come back to the show. And he agreed to do that for the beginning of season 9. And that was when they filmed the famous scene where he was in the shower and Pam says hello to him. And we're supposed to believe all of season 8 was just nothing more than a dream of hers. So off to our right is the arena and the corrals. Those were built by Lorimar, the production company, for episode number 100. And then right behind there is our convention center. It's got 63,000 square feet. It's got 4 ballrooms and a full-size commercial kitchen that can serve between 15 and 20,000 in one setting. We hold all kinds of events in there on a regular basis. Mary Kay Cosmetics had a get-together there earlier this year, and a couple weeks back we had some country western performances in there. Blake Shelton was here. Yeah.
Beat Baltimore.
So as we come around the corner now, some of these buildings were put up by the original owner. He was a guy named Duncan, and he was a very successful home builder in the Dallas and the Plano areas. And he built this this into the largest quarter horse ranch in the state of Texas by the mid-70s. I'm going to pull up here and turn off the tractor. Y'all can hear me a little bit better. But we do have what we call representative livestock on the property. In the pen that you see first off to the back, there's a couple of American paints and a quarter horse, and you can see them just past the railings there. Those guys are very gentle, and if you want to walk around later on and get your picture taken with them or stroke their noses, they're the ones I'd suggest you spend some time with.
Yeah.
The other horses that you see right in front of us here, they're not as nice. Those guys are full-grown miniatures, and there's a sign over there that says, please don't feed your fingers to the horses. And it definitely applies to the two darker ones that are in that far pen, so you've been warned. A couple of buildings to point out here where they've done some filming. First off, the one to the left is the barn, the one with the gray on the bottom and the white on the top. And that was a favorite place for Miss Ellie to go when she want to get away from Jock or JR who are having a hard time up at the mansion. And then the little one that's just past that with pillars in front of it, that is Elena's apartment. And for those of you that are watching the new series, then you probably know that character. She's the daughter of the longtime maid and housekeeper of the Ewings, and she grew up on the ranch with John Ross and Christopher. And now she's gone off and got her college degree and come back to North Texas and talks to people about signing over their oil and gas drilling rights on their property. And then over here, the building that's in the distance with the Southfork logo on it, that's our Longhorn barn. And this morning I saw them in the pasture out in front of the mansion, so I think they're still there. You want to check those guys out after the tour. But another scene that was filmed there was in the new series when JR was looking for a room full of paperwork, trying to find a way to get the property, get the ranch back to Bobby. And Bobby kind of walks in and catches him, and he flashes that famous JR smile. That was filmed right in there. And then this little gray building that's right up here on our left as we move forward, that was also used in the new series when John Ross and Elena went next door to Mrs. Henderson's ranch, and she was going to get them to sign over some oil and gas drilling rights. That was filmed right over under that covered patio. And through the miracles of Hollywood, folks, that little building is the entire ranch house. It's hard to believe.
Yes. See how much room for dogs in the new series Dallas? Plenty of room for dogs.
Okay, so as we come up around the back side of the convention center, this first entrance is to a place called Lincoln's and Longhorns, which is another gift shop. And they've got some real nice Western wear in there, but they also have Jock Ewing's 1978 Lincoln Continental. You'll be able to see it through the windows as we drive by. It's only got 25,000 original miles, and it was only used for filming on the TV series. They also have the horns that used to be mounted on the front of the car. They're mounted above the doorway as you walk in. And then this next little place here is called Miss Ellie's Deli, which is a great place to go for lunch. They got some big Texas-sized sandwiches and all kinds of drinks, including beer and wine, and some great big cookies that I'm a big fan of. So the road that we're driving along here is what was used to film the opening scenes in the original series. What they would do is the directors would splice together 3 or 4 different takes and make the road look to be about 2.5 miles long. You can see in reality the whole distance is probably no more than about a quarter of a mile. The other thing they do is they would put flour down on the road so that when Jock drove the Lincoln, it would kick up dust and people would think it's a dirt road instead of the pavement that you see. Now as we pull in, there were a couple of other scenes filmed right in here. First, this open area that's going to be off to our left as we pull in here. That was where Rebecca and Christopher's wedding was filmed. And then the circular area that's going to be off to our right is where little Lucy got married in the original series.
Hold on, guys. Bobby and Christopher rebuilt that fence.
Okay, so I'm going to ask if you've got a cell phone, if you would please put it on quiet or vibrate so that you don't disrupt the presentation inside the mansion. And then we're going to exit the tram to our left.